What we gonna do right now is go back, way back.
Give me your friend. Hey, come on, come on, come on. Give me your friend. Big girls like to do the round. Fat girls like to do the round. Fat girls, let me see you grind. Fat girls just doing their own thing right there with the fat thing. Fat girls just shaking them thighs. Fat girls don't make it count right.
Excuse me.
Baby.
What's up? I thought you was gonna start hanging out with the big girls again. What is all this trash?
But you like that girl, hit the ground, hit it up, and you know something sound. Fat girl just looking so sweet. Fat girl don't make it eat. Fat girl just shake it, don't wait. Big girl, let me see you do a spin. Let go, let me see you touch the ground. Shake it out, shake it out, back down. Drop me and then the house, rock it out, back. Work it, work it, work it, work it, big girl, 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 big girls like you around. Fat girl keep going, don't quit. Fat girl just move the damn hip. Fat girl get down, don't stop. Fat girl wanna see the pop. Shake it, stop, fat girl, shake it fast. Fat girl nigga wanna see that. Fat girl bounce like a pro. Fat girl don't know what you know. Fat girl shake till you rip through what? On the web wet, hard part two. Looks in the house, y'all know the game. Fat girl don't have no shame. Shake that back, back to the beat. Fat girl shake it, jiggle like me. St. Louis, back to the top. Like I like to do the ride. Work it, work it, work it, big girl, 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 big girls like do the dance. Hey, mo, hey. Let me hear you say, hey, mo, hey. Big girls like do the dance. Shake, work, shake, work, shake, work, shake, work, shake, shake, work, shake, shake, work, shake, work, shake, work, shake. To the ground, to the ground, to the ground, to the ground.
I'm sick of this. Now I want to show y'all a real show with the big girls.
Oh, fat girl, part 3. Can't hang with 106 beat. Fat girl know the happen, no quit. Fat girl run like you own it. Put your hands on your hips and grip it. Not new, I'm look like it off the now. Fat girl bring crew to top the climb. If not, I'ma pull the business down. Fat girl bounce hot, stop tripping. If you do get chicken and hot bitch with a lot right, come to the night speed. I really shit get the day to wear a G. But fat girl show the boy a shot. Let me see if the fat or not. Don't put fat girl, y'all like the down. Let you out, let me see y'all do the rap.
I'm serious. Where you are? Not ever. Oh, not the Britney Spears. Hey, how you doing?
Big girl, 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 big girl.
Oh, but ain't the little leprechaun. Girl, your wings are so up. You look a mess. All about the big girls. What about the big girls?
Big girl, work it, work it, work. Big girl, work it, work it, work. Big girl, you done suck all the fat off your ass. Big girl, you done shook all the fat off your ass. Big girl, you have shaken the fat off your ass. Streter. What's going on, Streter? How you feeling, my brother? If I can hear you, that'd be great. Obviously, I can't right now. You are experiencing technical difficulties.
Yeah, but that. Hold on, 1, 2.
Come on, Streter, man. You can't be bootleg, man.
Oh, don't be up here hating. Don't be hating live. But
You can't be bootlegging, man. Come on now. You got to be ready to go, Streter. This is the show. This is the big show. We done went all weekend. We done blew up the whole weekend, Streter. We blew up the whole weekend with the last Nasty Work show. We got another dude talking about he's the original Nasty Work. We got the Canes fans loving and hating the Warren Sapp interview. I mean, you bringing it every week, Streeter. I mean, what are we doing? I mean,
don't be up your gaslighting me, dog. Don't be gaslighting me.
You sound like them people from the FBA,
man. Don't be gaslighting me, dog. Whatever gaslighting
don't
me.
Don't be gaslighting
me. I think that's what you're doing right now. I think you gaslight me.
Whatever the next thing you're gonna be asking for is tangibles.
What?
Where's my tangibles? Where's my tangibles? Street, how you feeling, man? How was your weekend, my brother?
Oh man, I had a great weekend, bro.
I mean, it's a holiday. I know you had a great weekend, man. You stay busy, man. Do you ever take off?
No, man. I mean, that's part of the problem. No, man. I'm always doing something. 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, talking to people overseas. I'm always doing something.
I mean, you ain't the markets ain't open today. I mean, you're a big time investment portfolio guy. I mean, you take
the market
portfolios up.
President Day, the market
60%. I mean, do people know that about you?
Huh?
Do people know that about you? That you I mean, you play heavy on the market.
I talk about it all the time. I talk about it all the time about investing. I mean, I'm not. First of all, let's get this out the way. I'm nobody's. You know what I'm saying? You can't come to me. I'm not nobody's investment. You know what I'm saying?
So you don't. I mean, you're not like some of these other guys that got like half of the University of Miami Hurricanes roster. You know, as your clients. I mean, it seems like everybody else in it for.
I just show people what I do. I mean, it's up to them if they want to do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a Series 7 or nothing like that. But I've spent a lot of hours in investing. You know what I'm saying? And I've told people about crypto. All my followers know 3-4 years ago I was telling them about Bitcoin, and I was at 100,000. And so I'm not your financial advisor. Let's get that out of the way, Luke. But I do show people what I do. You know what I'm saying? I show people what I do. And I sit down and I teach people. I got a class today, man.
You got a class today? Okay, where people can go see this class?
I got a class today, yeah. And I just show people what I do, and it's up to them if they want to follow what I do.
There it is. Hey, man, we got a lot to cover today, man. We got Omar Kelly going to be joining us about 10:30 today. Man, there's so much to cover. It's a lot of shit to cover. What's some of your folks talking about, you know, that Warren Sapp interview? You know, it's a whole bunch of people were talking about that. A whole lot of people.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I got shout out to the villains, man. We got the villains in here, man, in the house, man. They always in the house. Shout out to Bird and Chris. Bro, people love the interview. People love the interview. They really did. I mean, they like I tweeted out some of the stuff, you tweeted out some of the stuff. And some of it, I mean, they got emotional about. They got emotional about Warren Sapp telling this truth, Luke. Like Warren Sapp said, hey, listen, I asked to be quality control coach at Miami first. Oh, keep him away from the program. Yeah, you guys are starting stuff. That's the man truth. You know what I'm saying? A Hall of Famer said he asked to be the quality control coach first. Somebody told him quality control guys at Miami work 20 hours a day. They said Trump was bringing back slaves. They said Trump was bringing back slaves, Luke. You working 20 hours a day. You working 20 hours a day, boy. You know what I'm saying? I work a lot for my own stuff. You know what I'm saying? You working 20 hours a day. Like, yeah, you close. Yeah, you close.
You are definitely close.
Yeah. So a lot of Kane fans got all bent out of shape about that. You know what I'm saying? Thought it was bad news. No, it's just his truth. A Hall of Famer told us his truth, and we reported it.
What's wrong with good reporting? I mean, what's wrong with that?
It don't go along with their narrative. Emotions. You can only to some of these people, you can only insult the Canes when they lose. Then it's all. Then you can say what you want to say for 48 hours.
You can only insult the Canes when they lose. I mean, hey.
Yeah. You can only say something bad when they lose. So if they lose, you better, like Barry Jackson, you better get it all out.
I mean, hey, let me tell you this. It was some gems in that interview. We talk about the whole thing of him not being able to get an opportunity to coach at the University of Miami. But the biggest gem for me was, you know, how he bigged up D-Lou and told us basically what we were getting in him as a coach when most people
online was trying to make it seem like, Sap was hijacking the program from D-Loop, and that was crazy in itself. But that's a whole nother story. Hey,
Right.
let me ask you, since we got a lot to cover, how did you like the NBA All-Star Weekend? I mean, we just came off the weekend. I mean, my take on that whole thing is Adam Silver has actually lost it. Is crazy. The All-Star game is horrible. LeBron James at the last minute said he wasn't going to play. I mean, what's your take on that whole All-Star weekend?
You know what, man? Sometimes you gotta hit a U-turn when things are gotten too old. Like I saw somebody say the 3-point contest is now the event. It is the main event. Like the dunk contest. The dunk contest is we've seen almost every dunk, and the guy can only jump so high. You know what I'm saying? You know what I do like about what the NBA gets is how they implement mainstream stars like Kevin Hart walking in through the locker room and putting on LeBron shoes and stuff like that. I think that the NBA, because you can see the players' faces, they get that part right. But All-Star Weekend, I mean, come on, bro. I mean, I think all the Pro Bowl, All-Star Weekend, I think it should be an honor, but I think it has to go or it has to change into something else. I want to see the one-on-one. Fuck that. A one-on-one tournament. I want to see which they're talking about now, but they'll never probably do because of injuries. But yeah, I want to see LeBron versus Stephen Curry in the fucking 101 and LeBron trying to guard Stephen Curry at half court. Other than that, I don't know what you could do.
Hey, let me say this here. Rachel Nichols tweeted early this morning, and I retweeted it. She said the NBA All-Star Game should be changed to USA versus the world. I mean, that's what the NBA has came to. Under the last president, he brought all these European players and changed it where there's no more hand checking, no more the physicality of the game is gone because they brought these 3-point shooting Europeans in here. What you think about that? The NBA versus the world. America versus the world.
Remember they had it. They had it. Remember? They had the sophomores, NBA guys playing against the world at one point in time. If I remember this correctly, years ago, that was the sophomore game. And somehow, for some reason, they stopped it, bro. So they was on the right track. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but the sophomore game was America guys versus the foreigners.
Yeah.
For a few years, and then you remember that? You don't remember that? And they stopped it.
Yeah. I mean, my man Chris said, as you can see down there on the bottom, bring back the East and the West. It was the East and the West before. That's what it originally was, right?
Yeah. What do? They pick teams now, some shit? No.
Man, they did everything.
The only way you get a competitive game, I believe, is the America versus the other player. I think that's the essence of basketball, and I think that would create a competitive game. I believe if you can get get them this trash talking and get that going, I think it's enough overseas players now. I believe it. I'm sure it is.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, hey, Huntsville, Alabama is in the house. So we got people worldwide, Streter. People are from all over the country listening to the show.
Huntsville.
All over the world. Y'all check in. Streter don't believe. Streter just think we people from Miami is on here.
Alabama.
Y'all check in. Let me know where y'all from. But here's another thing. Let me ask you. Let's go back to this University of Miami. They've stacked up this defense, this defensive staff. I mean, what you think about the new hire that they just hired, the guy that they took from?
No, I think they went out there, and I think they listened to us, and they went out there and started getting some guys with some cachet, and I believe they got some guys that look good on paper. I mean, at the bottom line of it, it has to happen in the game, Luke. I mean, my concerns with Miami is not anything on paper. Miami wins in the recruiting Miami in the ACC. Miami wins in transfer portal recruiting. You know, we always winning on paper. They got up to 10 wins last year, man, and it has to happen. It has to happen in the game. But I love the hire. I love the hire, man. I love the hire. I like the fact that it weakens Florida, the Gators. You know what I'm saying? The fan in me taking that DB guy, that number one recruiter, and yeah, I love it. It's about to land us one of the top defensive backs in the country, Mr. Jalen, who's committed to Florida and just decommitted. So I love it. It just has to happen in the game, though. Everything at this point is what's going to happen when it's big. It's winning time. Right. That's what I'm at with Mario and the staff. I mean, when it's winning time, like when it's winning time, what's going to happen? Are we going to take a knee? Are we going to run the ball when we're supposed to? All our issues is coaching issues. All our issues is strategic decision-making issues.
Hey, listen, let me tell you this. Shouts out to Opalaka in the building. We got Houston in the building. We got Scottsdale, Arizona in the building. We got everybody in the building. Hey, look, I was at Hialeah. Hialeah. It don't get no Cuban than Cuba. And the only place it gets more Cuba than Cuba is in Hialeah. It used to be Little Havana. They need to change the name. Let me just say this. Little Havana is no more. They should just take the name Little Havana away and give it to Hialeah. I was at Hialeah last night with my son and his teammates and everything. They had this big old this fun festival. What was it? A fair at the school in Hialeah. Oh man, I forget the name of the school. Shouts out to them because they were great. I mean, I ended up going out there, man. They gave me all kind of food, showed me all kind of love. Nothing but Hispanics, all Cuban, all my good friends. I love my Cuban friends. And I would say 50% of them came up to me and say, Luke, are we going to win the national championship? And Mario, I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, oh, I have to explain this everywhere I go. But in Hialeah, where most people think that, okay, the Cuban mafia is behind Mario and everything. Them people feeling some kind of way. I'm gonna tell you, when your own people, you know how when Randy Shannon was coaching, his own people start feeling some kind of way. When your own people start feeling some kind of way,
he said the Cuban mafia.
it becomes really interesting. That's why I like to be amongst the people. I like to be because again. I used to get my hair cut at the barbershop, at my house. Then I'm like, no, I'm going to the barbershop because you got to be among the people. That's where you get all the good information. So I'm over here 99% with 3 black people at this fair last night. It was me, my son, and I think another black kid that they had out there. I don't know, I don't want to say where I think he's from, but then at the end of the day, every one of those people came up to me. They did not ask about the Dolphins. They did not ask about nothing else. They asked about Mario and the University of Miami. And a lot of them weren't really happy. I'm telling you, Streter.
No.
Since I invoked the Dolphins, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we're going to introduce to you all the greatest sports writer for the Miami Dolphins. Well, the second greatest, because Edwin Pope was the greatest, because I'm old. See, y'all young. You're young. You don't know nothing about Pope.
I don't know about no Edwin Pope.
You do not know about Pope, so don't even Google, don't even go there, don't even think about talking about Edwin Pope of the Miami Herald. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Omar Kelly. What's up, my brother?
What's happening, Luke? How you doing?
Hey, man. I'm good, man.
Bro? Congratulations on your podcast. I'm a big podcast fan. I do check in every once in a while to watch and hear what y'all talking about, what's going on. Listen, keep it going, because this is the wave of the future. This is how people get their information nowadays.
Hey, man, you actually inspired me to do a podcast. When I remember you. It was the Pivot.
I Am Athlete.
I'm
Yeah.
athlete. That was before the pivot, right?
Yeah, that was before
Yeah.
the pivot. That's a traumatic point in my life. But yes, I remember. I tried to get you on when I took over as a producer. I tried to get you on, and he was just like, I don't know if this young generation gonna connect with Luke. I'm like, are you kidding me? Luke is a legend. Luke is a legend. And at that time, that French Montana song was out, and I'm like, and I'm glad you got your masters now, because so many of your songs, Luke, can be remade. You know that, right?
Hey, look, I think it'd be funny when people say that. That means they are not connected with the young people. I mean, I was on Sicky Mode. They sampled me. Travis Scott, 21 Savage, always. Just
There's
like
so many of them, dog. Come on, man.
I mean, and especially if you're in a South Florida club, you know it's gonna be a 30-minute little Miami segment. If you're in South Florida club lounge, come on, who not playing Luke? Like, who is not playing Luke? Scarred. Who is not, like, come on now.
Yeah, I think I'm at every AKA event as well. You know, I'm the theme song for the AKAs.
Which song they dance to?
Oh, they dance to Scarred.
Oh, Scar. Okay,
they got a whole dance with Scarred. I mean, if you well, everybody think they connected to the young people, but they really not. And the crazy part about it, I do a show for young people with a bunch of whole young artists, and then I would go and do a show with the old heads. But I think I'm probably one of the only artists that's actually doing that right now today. I mean, last time Rihanna's husband was down here, he asked me to perform with him at Rolling Loud, and I went out there and people lost their mind. I mean,
no, you good enough. You good enough for Usher, but you ain't good enough for Brandon Marshall, bro.
No, see, Omar didn't call the man name.
I listen.
You gonna say I am athletes and we not know who we talking about?
That man is destructive. Let him continue to destroy his life. Let it be, man.
Oh shit!
Come on, man.
Hey, that's all we got. Omar.
Let it be. Let it be. He destroy everything he touch.
Oh boy!
Shots fired already.
Is that bad?
It's bad. It's bad. Yes, it's that bad. I feel sorry for anybody who do business with him. But
oh man! I oh boy! I didn't know it. There it is. All I had to do is say a name, Luke. There it is.
Hey, Omar, let me ask you. Let's go back. And did you start out at the Miami Herald?
No, I started out at Miami. I did. I actually did start out the Miami Herald. They hired me as an intern when I was still in high school. And Jackie Charles, who does phenomenal work covering Haiti, I think she's probably the only reporter in the United States that still actually covers Haiti and what's going on there. She was my very first mentor. But then I got into sports from the Palm Beach Post and the Sun Sentinel. And in fact, I haven't even completed a full year working for the Miami Herald. I went to work for I Am Athlete. That was a traumatic, tragic year of my life. And then I left, or actually got fired, and fired because I would not undo my 2-year fully guaranteed contract. Would not sign a contract undoing my guaranteed contract. Let me put that out there. And then I went to work for All Dolphins, and we started a podcast. And then the Miami Herald had an opening and called and fully homecoming. Place where I started in 1993 as Barry Jackson's intern too.
As Barry
my first job was as Barry Jackson's intern.
He was
my mentor. He was my mentor. And now I work with him.
How long
Shouts out to Barry Jackson.
I know, right? How long has Barry Jackson been there? Jesus.
Oh, Barry's been there a long time. Barry's probably got a decade on me. So Barry's been there 30-something years.
Oh my God.
Damn.
Oh.
Barry Jackson. Hey, look here, man. You interned with probably one of the most notorious dudes ever who make up stories and shit.
Barry don't make up stories.
Barry do make up stories. Barry made up a story about me when I was coaching at Northwestern. I'm like, Barry, that's
what you did, Luke.
Barry,
what you did.
Barry.
Hold on, you not coaching at Northwestern now?
No, I'm at Edison.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah. Edison,
yeah. See, there you go. Yeah, you doing the Barry
baby,
right now. Barry make up shit, but then Barry be on point a lot. But my girl also is Jackie Charles. That's my girl. I love her to death. Jackie keeps me on point. Her and Audra Birch and all the rest of them. Audra went on to other places to work. I think Washington Post or something like that.
Yeah, Boston Globe or something like that. I know what you're talking about. Jackie is much like me, where I've had opportunities to go other places. This is home. This is it for me. I don't care about nobody else. I don't care about no other city. I don't care about no other teams. Like I had a chance to go to Washington and I had a chance to go to Boston. I couldn't care about the Patriots or the Commanders. Like I couldn't cover them the way that I cover my team, because I remember when I was in 7th grade living on every single word about the Heat and the University of Miami and the Dolphins. I can honestly tell you I wasn't that much of a Dolphin fan, but I cared about all the other sports. University of Miami basketball, football, the Miami Heat. I'm still a Heat fan. I've been a Heat fan. Ronnie Cycli, Gillian Rice, Steve Smith. You couldn't tell me nothing about that team. They was gonna take down the Bulls. I was that naive, you know. When they were the 8 and the Bulls were the 1, yeah, they couldn't even get a game.
That's interesting because the media is supposed to be impartial, and you feel that because of your passion or for the city, for the sports, it makes you a better writer.
Oh,
yeah.
And here's the reason why, because I think that I feel like I have to hold. Not everybody gets a chance to talk to, question, second guess the head coach, the GM, the players. And I feel like because I'm a Miami native and resident and I know where the fans have been, I'm an advocate for them. So that's why most of the time I'm on Twitter, I'm figuring out what the pulse of the people is in terms of what they're saying. Now, do I want to be the people's therapist? Hell no. I don't. After a Sunday loss, don't bring your trauma to me. Like, I'm not the punching bag, but I do want to know what you feel, what you talk about. Like, you know, everybody knows this year. Everybody. I hope you ain't buying. I hope y'all renting and leasing, because
shit.
If you don't get it right this year, all of y'all gonna get whacked. All everybody. So when you're in that situation, that's my job right now, is to make sure to watch them, to make sure they don't do no desperate, stupid stuff. And then when they do desperate, stupid stuff, call it out and be like, yeah, that's stupid. That's desperate. Like, what are we doing this for? If we know they're going to let them do what they do, which is max out daddy credit card again. But
so you were at the end of the year, you were real critical. I listened to you on the Joe Rose show, by the way. Shouts out to Joe Rose. Every time I'm taking my son to school, 6 in the morning, you know, I have half the time. So, you know, when we rolling up to school, he don't listen to no music, nothing. He's a Dolphin fan, Hurricane fan, everything. So we sit there and listen to you on the way to school. I mean, you were very critical of Greer. You thought Greer should have been fired, right?
Yes, I think he will eventually be fired. The reason why is he's not good at drafting. He's okay at free agency. He's good at trades, but I hate the way that they're financially built. The Dolphins' business model is, let's pay these 7 players $20 million, and then the rest of the team is filled with draft picks, which 33% of them are good. The rest of them are just guys that are there. And then we got to fill the rest of the roster with old and injured players, because that's all we can get with what we got left. I think that's a horrible business model. I think and this has nothing to do with Tua. Tua is a totally different conversation. Just the way that you have structured your team and your roster, where every year you gotta squeeze the lemon because you gotta create cap space to go out there and do it all over again and spend more money. Like, come on, man. Like, if you spend on free agency, it should be a finishing piece. The foundations of this team is spent on free agency and trades. And I just think it's a bad business model. I don't have an issue with the coach if he can regain the trust and belief of his locker room. But the person that's putting it all together,
you really think Mike McDaniel is a leader of men?
I think that, and you can help me with this, because I think that today's athlete is different than 10 years ago and definitely different than 20 years ago. You cannot MF an athlete today. You can't do it. If you MF an athlete today, they're gonna check out. They want to trade. They enter in the transfer portal. They gone. I remember this was in the Adam Gase era, and I think that was when the switch was happening. I had some beefs with a couple of players on the team.
Oh, you got a lot of beefs with a lot of players.
But my beefs will stem from me talking about Jordan Phillips. You lazy. You lazy. You half the time you just going through the motions at practice. I called you out on it. Okay, you got in your feelings about it. Then you're going to dominate practice the next day. The coaches came up and congratulated me and thanked me because they're like, oh, okay. Like, you could get something out of him when you motivated. Like, and Adam Gase explained to me, he was like, this generation of athletes, they can't handle criticism. You cannot criticize them. So if I'm doing it on a public format and the world is seeing it, and that was back in the day when I used to cut up the film and show it to you, and they used to get in their feelings about that. He was like, yeah, you got to stop doing that, because it's like, it's one thing they can get criticized privately in a meeting room and okay, correct the behavior. But when you putting it all on Front Street, they're going to have a problem. And it's just evidence. This generation, they cannot be criticized. I don't know what.
I think a lot of people think that, because I mean, when you look at Kingsbury, he went over there in Arizona, didn't do good, babyface coach, and I know Kingsbury, shouts out to him.
He's gonna be a good coach.
I mean, would you look at Flores versus McDaniels, and Flores started off rocky with the team. Obviously,
they was trying to lose.
I
don't even count that year. They were trying to lose.
Exactly. So then now, when Flores was put in the same situation, I know you a little critical of Flores also. When he was put in that same situation where they needed to run off 8 games to get into the playoff, he did it by tough love, and then he never made it to the playoffs. But he didn't make it. What he ran off like 8 games?
8 games to put together a winning record. He never made it to the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
But I understand what you're saying in terms of how they basically did the same thing last year and this year. They didn't make the playoffs, and in fact, maybe Flores finished better in his last season. But the thing about Flores is he wasn't fired for performance or I think coaching. He was fired because he could not get along with everybody. Like even his coaching staff, he could not get along with them. Then he couldn't hire an offensive staff. The biggest thing about Flores is, okay, what you did from an offensive coordinator, it wasn't working, the dual offensive coordinators. And you did that only because you couldn't hire anybody of quality because they wouldn't come and work for you. And then, so what are you going to do again? What are you going to do the next year? Who are you going to hire? Nobody want to, like his reputation, his best friend left him after 1 year in Patrick Graham. His best friend left him after 1 year. He was like, I can't work for this. I can't work for you. If we're going to be friends, I got to go somewhere else. And they said, okay, he's going back to the Giants. Patrick Graham been about 10 different places. He just, it's, when you can't, it's, those people that just don't know how to talk to you, don't know how to talk.
Yeah.
They get mad. They don't know how to talk. That was Flores. He get mad. He don't know how to talk. He don't know how to talk to people.
Omar, my question is this: only a few black coaches make it to be head coaches in the NFL. How does a guy like
they all get set up for failure?
But how does he make it there? If he can't get along with anybody, does he change? How does that happen?
he had the endorsement of Bill Belichick. But
Okay.
I'm of the opinion that the Bill Belichick way will never be. Even for Bill Belichick to succeed, in my opinion, he's got to change. He's got to metamorphosize himself, and that's why I think college is going to be good for him. Because in college environment, I don't like the way you talking to me. I don't like the way you coaching me. I'm gone. Right, Luke. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So if you sitting up here investing in a young man and don't know how to talk to him, don't have a relationship with him, don't have a bond, don't have him believing that you're there for his best interest or what you're doing or saying is going to benefit him down the road, they out of there. So you can't even build a program. I don't even know how these schools build programs anymore unless you paying, unless you the paymaster.
They don't either. They're trying to figure it out. They don't know. They're trying to figure it out in real time.
And here's my problem with what's going on. Imagine what it's going to be like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, because these athletes are now entering the NFL and they don't want to be coached. They can't handle criticism. They like some of these guys are going to come to the NFL and take pay cuts to be third, fourth, and fifth round picks. Like now, it's beneficial for you to stay in college because you can make good money in college. Like, what's the UN quarterback back making $4 million? He was never gonna make that in the NFL. No, which is why he stayed. I pray to God he's good because he's making a lot of money. Like he better be good. Like Cam Ward made $1.4 million. You making $4 million. Like you better ball. Because now we can't treat them like college athletes because they paid.
That's what, and that's what they don't realize what comes with it. But Luke, you're not coaching these kids soft. Like, hey, Omar, Luke is not coaching these kids soft at all.
And that's why I don't know how Luke is doing it because I know Luke. I've seen Luke from where he was running Pop Warner. Like, I don't know how you coach these athletes nowadays.
You don't care.
I tell them, when you come to Miami Edison, I say this ain't for everybody. I'm gonna tell you this now. You're gonna live hard. You're gonna run hard. I'm in the run program. You're gonna run like a runaway slave, and you're gonna get coached hard. Ain't no babysitting over there. And I think when you do look, even with the high school programs, the high school programs, the teams that coach hard, you get the best results out of the players going to the next level. You know staffs that has a bunch of divas that want to be baby, and you look at their program and then you be like, okay, y'all won a bunch of state championships, but how many players you got in the league? You know, a lot of people can't say that, you know, where, you know, we know it's 1,200 people in the league. So it has to be the best of the best getting in there, but you know, it becomes hard work. Speaking of hard work, you got your man, former Dolphin player, Sean Elliott, saying the Dolphins soft as fuck. They ain't gonna never win because of the city. People come to practice late. When you heard that, and as a reporter, as a Dolphin beat reporter, when you heard that, I mean, what came in your mind? Because I never saw that being reported, or did I miss that somewhere down the line?
I don't buy into the whole everybody's coming to practice late and all this stuff, because I'm in the locker room sometimes and I this big old clock there, and I see when they know when meeting times start, and you be seeing players running out of there. So it ain't no like, oh, meeting gonna start, I'm gonna get there when I get there. So I don't really buy into that culture. Now, are they a player friendly team? He went from the Baltimore Ravens to Baltimore Ravens, Detroit Lions, Miami Dolphins, Pittsburgh Steelers. Which one in that group is out of the norm? You understand what I'm saying? Especially when he was with the Lions, where I think he was with Dan Campbell. And I know Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell, he's a player's coach, but Dan's going to coach you hard. Dan's very first practice as Dolphins interim coach, it was an Oklahoma drill, because he, for the first period of very first practice, he was like, we're going to change the culture around here. This is a player-friendly team. And I believed what Mike McDaniel was doing in terms of empowering the players. The players have more power, more say last year than any organization that I've ever seen in my life. The captains, the leadership council, they call the shots. What day we want to practice, players decide. How long we gonna practice, players decide. What we got an issue on the team, players meeting, players decide. Punishment for players, players decide. Is that always good? I don't know, but I think it's more. And I'm not saying that Mike McDaniel's everybody's buddy, even though he is everybody's buddy. I remember writing something. I remember looking it up and writing a column about this was before this was when they would just started losing, and I think Tua was coming back. And I blame a lot of the issues that they had last year on not having Tua, because they would have been a better team with Tua, no matter what you think about him. But I looked it up, and for 3 years, three years, Mike McDaniel had never demoted a single player. Nobody who would ever, but based on performance. Nobody. It had if something changed to the lineup, it was because of an injury. For 3 years, even when guys struggled, because I looked it up with Julian Hill. Julian Hill had replaced Durham Smythe, who just got released. That was the only demotion that Mike McDaniels had made in 3 years. And I thought to myself, like, you can't run an operation like that. Players have to feel like, I could lose my job, or I have to be more accountable. And so I think there has to be some sort of balance. Now, does Deshaun Elliott have a point? That is Miami culture very difficult on this athlete, Luke? You see it. You be a Tootsies. You know sometimes.
Yeah, Tootsies. Shouts out to all my the managers in there, George and all them boys.
Seafood rice, lemon pepper. Now I will say, Tootsies, I've been a little disappointed the last 2 times I've been there. The lemon pepper wing was not on point with what I expect. I think you a top 10 lemon pepper wing establishment in all of Miami. And
Omar, you going to Tootsies and be critical? You're critiquing.
I'm there for the food. Luke, I'm honestly there for the food, because if it was for the ladies, I would be somewhere else. I'm there for the food.
God, this man going in there critiquing Tootsies. Right, you leave. Tootsies is the place, Omar, where you get away from it all. Where you get away from your regular job. You go there, you get the sights and the back rooms and the food and the lemon pepper and the.
But Tootsie strippers don't even dance.
Don't let me start on the dance. I go for the food. Number one, Tootsie. That food is better than most restaurant food. Even what's that guy that do the reviews? The Dreads, he got like a little social anxiety, so I forget what his name is.
Talk like he autistic. What is his
name? Yeah. He did a review of the Tootsie's food.
Really?
He failed him. Luke, he failed him. He was like, maybe I got the wrong chef. He was like, this is not good. This is not what I expected. And I'm telling you now, listen, you got to put, like, I expect top shelf food from Tootsie's. I expect 5-star cuisine from Tootsie's. And it had fallen just a little bit, Luke. I'm just saying, the dances now, that's a totally different conversation. The environment, I would like a little bit more hip-hop music, but that's my personal taste. If I go to Tootsie, I know what I'm going for. But anyway, back to the conversation. It's hard. I remember talking to a former Dolphins executive, and he was like, yeah, I forget which it was a Ireland Parcells regime, and they were like, yeah, we gotta have married guys. We gotta draft married guys or engaged guys, because this environment will eat them up. And you know what happened? The 2 draft cycles, all of them dudes was married, engaged. All of them dudes was divorced.
Wow.
Divorced for 2 years.
Hey, damn. Let me tell you,
it's hard out here, Luke. It's hard out here.
It is hard. I don't think
fans capital of America. So once them girls get their claws in you, Luke, it's hard out here. Then if they like gambling, it's a hard rock. I'm not saying, like, you think that you face the same challenges in Green Bay or Baltimore or Charlotte that you face down here? Please.
I think it's more of, I don't think it's I don't think it's Tootsies. I don't think it's.
I ain't blaming
trap.
Tootsies. I'm not blaming Tootsies.
Yeah,
But
I don't think
I know a star on the team who eventually got traded or banished. I can't remember which one. I swear to God, I ain't never been to Tootsies and he not be there. I swear to God.
Wow.
You're like, that's a problem right there.
Huh?
You know, what I do know is this. What most people, I don't think it's the actual establishments, but I think it's the access of the gyms that are in the establishment, because I'm aware of a whole bunch of house parties with some of the guys on the off day. Hey, we're gonna go get us an Airbnb house, and we're gonna get the cards out, and it's a lot of house parties going on with the girls. It's a lot. I don't know if they're using the baby oil, but it is a lot of house parties.
I did not know. I did not. You put me on to something I did not know.
It's some house parties. It is some house parties where where you leave your phone at the door. You know, that's what the professional guys do. They don't necessarily get wild, and it's the out of town players that goes to the Tootsies and they get caught up in the booby trap and all that. You know, that's how I tell my betting friends, look, just go booby trap if a team coming in to play either the Dolphins or
the NFL, they sequestered, they can't go nowhere.
The home teams have house parties. They'll bring the girls over on the off day, and the single guy, he'll either had a party or they'll go rent an Airbnb, and then they'll get the party going. Hey, I just saw that you reported the other day that not Fightgate, but where the whole Richie Incognito thing was a big lie.
Bullygate.
I just saw your story on that the other day. Was that all a lie? I mean, how could something like that get by you? Or he's lying?
No. What happened was Jonathan Martin they did a big ESPN piece, and this is 10 years after the incident, and him trying to rebrand himself as, not the face of Bullygate. And he admitted in the story that at no point did I ever feel bullied by the team. This has been something that I've spent 10 years of my life trying to undo. I'm gonna read you the exact quotes. And now, as somebody who covered the team and had to deal with the Ted Wells report and all of that foolishness, I always knew Richie Incognito was being railroaded, and this is a lie. And the players claiming that they had a hostile work environment was bull crap. They was just a football team, and claiming that Jonathan had been abused by Richie, there was nobody on that team closer than Richie. Was Richie's way at times abusive? Yes. He was raised by a father who was a Vietnam War vet and probably didn't know nothing but abuse. And it was just a bad mix of two individuals. You know what I'm saying? But did Richie create a hostile work environment? No. Jonathan Martin wanted to quit. He said, I never believed for a second I was being bullied. Wow. It's a story that I've been trying to fix for 10 years. Not very well trying to fix for 10 years, but I can understand you don't want to be the face of bullying. But the truth of the matter was that season he was quitting. And his mother created, yes, there was some, if an outsider who does not see a football environment or does not know a locker room environment sees it, they'll be like, okay, that's bullying. And I get it. Maybe you shouldn't shave a penis in somebody's head. I get it. It's a bad look. but I remember the days I used to cover University of Miami. Everybody had to have their head shaved bald when you came there. It don't matter what you had, whether you had dreads or whatnot. I forget the wide receiver name I think you're from Edison. No, that was Walden. Everybody had to have their head shaved. Do you think you could shave a player's head now, Luke?
No, that ain't happening. That ain't happening. They're making too much money.
It don't matter. I'm not even talking about NIL. They stopped doing that 20 years ago. Okay, why you can't shave a player's head? Because you have to learn to be put in your place as a rookie, or do you not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was hazing.
It is
Led the
hazing.
league.
I mean, and hazing is technically illegal. I mean, it is hazing and bullying. I don't know where the line needs to be drawn, but I'm of the opinion that this is a very, very, very soft culture, and I don't think it's not built for football. If you need it to be soft, then you're not built for football. Because I agree. I sit and I agree with Tariq. Like, we need to add more dogs to the team. This team will never win without any dogs, and they are allergic to dogs.
Hold on. You go ahead, Streter.
Where speaking of Tariq, like, where were you when Tariq said he was out, and how did you take that? Like, where were you actually standing when he said he was out?
I was standing there. It was my video that went viral. I was standing there. I was asking the questions.
Yeah.
I'm sure my question about, okay, well, how does it feel to not get to 1,000 yards for, second time in your career, like, was what kind of triggered him? Because
you triggered the man, Omar.
I'm not taking full responsibility for that.
Both of y'all trigger people. He triggers Mario, and you triggers
you trigger Mario
over there.
Yeah. I got Mario. Yeah.
I don't like. I have not Mario. I know Mario for years, and Mario's a great dude. But the way I hear things going over there, I'm like a little bit too concerned. It's like dictator land over there, and I'm like, yo, that's not who I know you as. To be honest with you, but hey, I don't cover it enough to know and pay attention.
Well, it sounds like you're paying attention.
I just hear about it, from like behind channels, but like, I mean, as long as he got the money, but my thing is, what happens when the money stop coming? Like, obviously you run by whoever's giving you the money, so the program's now run by whoever is the money man.
You're right.
Go ahead. What happens when the money stop running, or you stop doing what the money man wants you to do?
You know what happened?
What happened?
You got to depend on your coaching.
Huh?
I think a lot of that, Mario has got rid of another myth that he is a dictator. He's baby Castro, and nobody wants to coach with him as well. And then he just lands some top coaches.
Okay.
From on the defensive side of the ball. So I don't know. The jury is still out. And people say a lot of things, but we don't know. But let me ask you, I'm surprised you agreeing with Tyreek. You call the man a self-proclaimed, you call him a quitter.
Who? I don't call Tyreek a quitter.
Social media troll. He is
a social media troll. He's a habitual liar.
You call the man everything but the child of God.
Okay. I love Tyreek. I respect Tyreek. But Tyreek is a habitual liar.
And you call him a liar. God damn it, man.
Hold on, wait a minute. If you a liar, you a liar.
That's probably the worst thing you can say about a man. That you're a liar.
Stop lying. No. If calling you a liar is the worst thing how about you get stopped caught in lies? Like, how about you do that? If you lying, don't be mad that I'm calling you a liar. Like, how you gonna be mad? I'm calling you a liar when you lying. You lie.
What he lying about though?
Everything.
Like
kids,
pregnancies. Like, what could he be lying about as a grown man?
I don't talk about all that. I listen. All of that, him and his wife, whatever they got going on, and Luke knows. Sometimes your wife let you do whatever she wants you to do, whatever you want to do. Sometimes I don't get in nobody marriage. I don't get in nobody business. Tyreek take care of all his kids. He'll make sure you know that. Hey, if your wife ain't got a problem with it, I ain't got a problem with it.
So what are you lying about? Being to work on time? Like, what could he be lying about that you know about? Is my question.
Tyreek lie about everything. He lie about everything. Tyreek, everything. And now he was frustrated He was angry. He told us, I don't want to talk. Y'all don't want me to talk. And we let him go. Okay? Because I know when a player say, you don't want me to talk, and this is the second time it's happened to it. The second time it's happened this year. I'll let you go. You don't want to talk? Go ahead. Now, they guilty him. You're a captain. You're a leader. You need to speak. They brought him back. They were like, Tariq will talk. We came to the front of the building and sat there and listened to him. Tariq, and this is what people don't understand. Of a 4-minute interview, for 2 minutes and 45 seconds, Tariq said all the right things. Then something triggered him, and he was like, I'm done. I can't.
Something that triggered him.
I can't. It was when he was talking about his QB and losing his QB and not playing with his QB and saying all the right things. And then in the process of that interview, something triggered him. He was like, yeah, I can't do this. I've never lost. I've never not been in the playoffs. I can't be losing. And then 2 weeks prior to that, he was like, y'all come. I'm going to be the first one to talk. I'm going to set the tone. That was after the Texans loss. And he was just like, yeah, that was when he had the ball snatched from him. He took full responsibility, full ownership. And then after we was done, he started cursing. He was like, damn, I really thought this was going to be the year. And he did. He genuinely bought in. And then everything just happened to the team that just like derailed them. And I think a lot of that is just Tua. Yeah, I'm sorry, you don't have your starting quarterback. Say whatever you want, but he's a upper echelon quarterback, top 10, top 12 quarterback. You don't have that for 6.5 games. And then in the games you don't have it, your offense is the worst in the NFL. That's going to impact you. Then you don't have a running game. Come on. You can't. Like, to me, I think the biggest difference with the 2024 team and the 2023 team, which was very good, but fell apart at the end of the season because they lost a ton of guys, was the run game. If you looked at the run game, they had one of the worst run games last year. In 2023, they had the second best run game. Mm-hmm. And that makes everything easier for everybody. Like, they didn't even connect on one deep ball the whole year. How you go from having the biggest big play producing offense to no deep balls the whole year?
Yeah, I saw some drops. You let me ask you, when you look at Jimmy Butler and Tyreek Hill, you think it's the same thing? You think he'll a cancer to the team? It's time to move on from him?
No. If Tyreek is traded or Tyreek continues to be disgruntled, everybody gonna be fired. It's the season done. Don't even start the season. Because we could be looking at if Mike McDaniel does not get them to check back in, or does not, like, to me, a big key to this offseason will be Teron Armstead and the leaders that are brought back on the team. Maybe Calais Campbell, but I don't think Calais want to come back because I think Calais want to find him a winner. Unless they overpay. Now, if the Dolphins want to overpay, Calais will be like, I'll be your leader. The biggest difference, remember Joe Philbin that year, his last year, which was that last year where he went to London and got fired. Didn't he keep his job on the way back? That's because the players never really checked in. They were like, yeah, we going through the motion. We won't really believe. Who replaced him? Was it Dan Campbell that year? I done had so many interim coaches. It's not even funny.
Dan Campbell, yeah.
Yeah. The players was just like going through the motion. And if Mike can't get them to check back in and get them to believe again, and Tyreek is a big component of that. Teron Armstead is a big component of that. Zach Sealer is a big component of that. The leadership has to Ramsey is a big component of that. If the leadership don't check in, they're gonna be fired by game 6. And then we're gonna purge the roster and start it all over again. So it's like, I believe that they can win. I believe that McDaniels is a good enough coach. I believe that there's enough talent here. Obviously, they're gonna purge some more of the roster to create more cap space, and then sign some 3-4 guys that can help them in critical areas. And then draft. They got 10 draft picks. Probably gonna have 3 that are decent players. I'm
Get it all figured out, don't you?
I'm just telling you what the reality is.
You've seen this movie a million times.
I'm like you. That's why he don't mind trading the draft picks, because he's not very good at drafting players to begin with. I know you. I know you're a Greer fan, but I'm like, I don't know what you're a fan for. Cause what has he done? What is he good? What is he good at, Luke?
Luke just like who he like for his own reasons, man.
No. I think they've had some great personnel. Ross empty out the pocketbook.
Yeah,
and they have some hell of a players.
But if I let you go shopping all the time, you should have some good players, shouldn't you?
Man, somebody, right?
You should have a good personnel. If I let you shop all the time, if I give you a black Amex card, your house should look nice, Luke.
And you coming to Miami? I mean, shit, he was better than Tannenbaum and the Bortante and all that shit.
But here's the thing.
I mean,
Tannenbaum did the same thing. It's I don't know if is he better than Tannenbaum? Christian Wilkins is a good player. Minka was a good player. Mike Gesicki, I'll never let that go ever in life. You knew he couldn't block. You even said it in the press conference. Then you go draft Durham Smythe in round 4. So instead of just taking one tight end that can actually do his job, you use 2 draft picks on a tight end position. Come on, man. Offensive line, it's been a struggle. Name me, Jerome Baker's probably the only good linebacker he's ever drafted. Name me another linebacker. Cornerback, they think they could get every cornerback. They can get undrafted free agents and make them good cornerbacks. Okay.
Got the deal for Ramsey.
Yeah, okay, great deal. But Ramsey just cherry picked Miami. How hard is that? And then shook you down for money. How hard? And you ain't have to give Ramsey no extension. You did, because Ramsey said, "Give me my money." Like, okay, you great GM. Somebody say, "Give me my money," and you just say, "Here." Like, come on, Luke.
Y'all in the media forced them to get to her. I think that was the biggest mistake.
Okay, that's fair. But what at that time, if you did not pay Tua, your offense gonna be held back because he not for the practice. He already didn't practice all offseason. Now the story is everybody's got to practice, everybody's got to buy in, blah, 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 blah. Okay. If you had not signed him to that extension, it would have sent a horrible message to the rest of the team.
Right.
Now, would it have been the right thing to do? Probably, because you wouldn't be paying him $46 million. You'd probably be paying him $30 million right now because you know the injury history. But did you know he was gonna get hurt? Like you kind of did. It's
kind of did.
Oh, you know Tua was gonna get hurt.
I got a question for you, Omar. I got a question. Is Tua the best quarterback the program has since Marino?
Absolutely, no question. Who
Why
else?
does nobody believe he's the answer?
Because they don't believe that he can stay healthy, and he can't win he has not won a big game when it mattered that got you where you needed to go. And I don't think that's all his fault, because a lot of times he's been in those situations. Like I'll tell you, Kansas City game, Tyreek fumbled the ball, just led to points.
Tyreek was not there, Omar. He was not there present at all.
Yeah.
He got in that game.
Eagles game. He rallying back. They about to tie the game. The receiver run the wrong route. He throw an interception in the red zone goal line situation. Okay, it happens. Buffalo last year, offensive line. He gets a final minute rally, and the offensive line just absolutely collapsed on him. No, that was Tennessee too. It happened. It just comes. But then the offensive line filled with 3 backups. Okay, get to a Buffalo. When Buffalo makes their run, they whole offensive line. For some reason, their offensive line can stay healthy. The Dolphins' offensive line, 3 guys on the sidelines one guy playing with a separated shoulder. Like, come on, man. What like Liam Eichenberg's your starter? Like, Liam Eichenberg is gonna go on. He ain't never gonna start another game in the NFL. He done started 50 games for the Dolphins. Like, come on, man. You can do better than that.
So you got it. So you say the majority, majority of the Dolphin problem was injuries. I mean, you lost 2 defensive ends in 1 year.
You talking about last year? Oh yeah, this year. Yeah, this year.
Last year.
Yeah, both last year and this year. Yeah.
I mean, your edge rushers in this league, you need them. Those are probably the most important guys on the D line. You lose them, you lose the quarterback, you lose. I mean, running back got injured, and well, I didn't think he should have drafted the running back that he drafted.
Which one? The Tennessee kid.
Yeah. But I think if he didn't have all these injuries, you wouldn't be so critical of Greer. They probably would have won a playoff game or 2.
No, who they gonna be?
I mean, they haven't won a playoff game in like 10 years, right?
24 years.
24 years, the Dolphins haven't won a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
So if Omar Kelly was the GM, how do you fix this?
I add some dogs to the team. I add people that absolutely bring an intensity, and it's hard to coach. But I know when that whistle blow, they gonna go out there and they gonna eat and be absolute dogs.
But you know the old saying, it take one to know one.
Okay. I've never heard that. I know what a dog is because I covered the University of Miami. And that's one thing I always say.
And you're from Miami.
Yeah, yes.
It takes a dog to know a dog. So now if you're sitting up in there, and if you're sitting up in there, you're Mr. Green Jean, and you got this shit all up, and
that's my problem with the NFL. That's my number one problem with the NFL. Y'all don't realize how many of the people running these teams now are mathematicians and lawyers, and these are the people that are at the very top of the NFL at 80% of the organization. And the people who actually know football, people who play football, they cast off. They got to sit over there and quiet because the analytics is. Analytics is what you need now. You gotta talk the language that the owner and the people can understand. And half of these teams don't know how to identify a baller. No, like that's why when Frank Gore was finishing up, and I hammered him for years. Like, you got to go be front office. Forget coaching. Don't do the coaching. Because I knew he was going to do football for life. I'm like, you got to go be in the front office and I say the same thing to Calais Campbell. Calais Campbell is going to be a great GM. Right now, if you told me $5 grand and hire Calais Campbell, I say I'm in. I'm all in. Because Calais knows what a football player looks like. He knows what a dog is and why you need dogs. These executives, you might be right. I never thought about the fact that not a lot of people know what a dog looks like.
I mean, when you think about it, look at the teams who consistently win and somewhere by the money. I mean, you're right. I think it's more 90% of the NFL don't know what a dog looks. San Francisco. San
Francisco no, because they're run by a former
Baltimore.
player.
Baltimore, they still got Ozzie sitting in the back.
And people don't realize Ozzie still running it. He just don't have the title no more.
He's still running it. Exactly.
He's still running it.
Kansas City, you got an old school head coach. Exactly. Philly. I mean, those.
No, that's a lawyer. That's a Mike Tannenbaum. I was surprised, Luke. When I started looking, I was like, how is he out this good team? And I started looking at his background, started looking at his staff. I'm like, this is a lawyer. He begged Mike Tannenbaum for a job. Mike Tannenbaum said no.
Where's he from?
Really?
Howie Roseman. I was so shocked that this is a guy. But he clearly know what. I don't know how he know what he's looking at, but he know, and he know how to build a team. You build a team in the trenches. That's what I would do if I was Greer. I would build this thing back in the trenches because you real soft in the trenches.
And then exactly, and you got the old man over there in Kansas City. You know he know what a dog is. I mean, but Howie, to Howie's credit, I know Howie personally, and when you see the coaches that Howie has on their staff, they know dogs. I mean, Stoutland know what he wants, and them dudes have
I
a
remember
say
Stoutland.
in who you bring in there. More different than any other team that I'm aware of. Them dudes will sit up there and they'll call you up like, look, he still got gas in the tank. I'm like, hold on, ain't this Howie job? You know, and they sit in there, they had their arguments about who's a dog and who's not.
See, a lot of teams, they can't have those arguments no more. And the culture and the environment, I will sit here and argue. I go, and that's the thing. That's why I really appreciate my start being the University of Miami. I covered Florida State during their great run, and then I covered the University of Miami. And I took that for granted because it taught me what a football player is supposed to look like, supposed to move like, supposed to act like. Okay, but if you ain't never seen it, you don't know. I saw the starter, the backup, and the number 3 guy player all go to the league. From whoever was starting ahead of Eric Winston when he was a tight end, and then Kellen Winslow, and then Kevin Everett. I saw all of them on the same team. Like, I could do linebacker that way too. I could do Olsen after that. And I'm just picking one position. I could do receiver too. I could do running back when Clinton and Frank and Willis and Najee and all on the same team. And that's the thing. I know what it looked like. I went to Bomarito. I went to see Pete Bomarito train guys last week. I go there. And I prefer to go there blind. I don't want to know what your ranking is. I don't want to know where you projected. I don't want to know. Sometimes I don't even know what position you play. I just be looking at them and be like, who is that? That's who I want to know about. Who is that? I found a tight end from South Carolina. Ain't nobody talking about this dude. I remember going there when I saw Stephon Diggs. This is my favorite story going to Bomarito. I'm there to see Devontae Parker, who is the can't miss number 1 draft, first round draft pick. He there at Bomarito to rehab all his 6,000 injuries, which is, it is what it is.
Man,
and so I'm watching him work out. He know I'm there to see him. Stephon Diggs come to me. I don't know who the hell this boy is. He say, "Oh, you here to see Devontae? Okay, make sure you watch me too." I'm watching him. He going every drill right after Devontae. Killed Devontae. I'm like, who the hell is this dude? I'm like, he clearly got to be 3rd, 2nd round pick. So, he clearly 2nd day guy, 3rd day, maybe 4th round, at the worst 4th round pick. This man was projected like as a 7th round pick. He eventually got picked in the 5th. And I'm thinking, bro, this kid is finna be a monster in this league. And he ends up being a monster in the league. But the only reason I could know what I'm looking at is because I saw Andre Johnson, saw Santana Moss, saw Sonoris Moss, saw all them dudes. So I know what it's supposed to look like. I'm like, the problem I have with what's going on now in evaluating is most of these people don't know what the hell they're supposed to look like.
No.
They could crunch numbers and give you analytics. And like, I remember when I stopped covering University of Miami and I used to go to the pro day, and it was probably like 5. This was Al Golden years. Oh God, that was the worst.
With the time.
That was the worst era.
He left the time.
And he back coaching somebody now. He's
at Notre Dame. He was the defensive coordinator.
He ain't getting no head coach job.
He back in he just got left.
He just got promoted to something.
In the league, ain't he? Ain't he in the NFL now?
I don't know.
He was the defensive coordinator.
No, we ain't got Notre Dame first game. We ain't got Al Golden first game of the season next year. He gone.
No.
He the Bengals DC.
Golden resurrected himself. I mean,
yeah. I mean, but after 20 years, you can resurrect yourself. I give you props. Everybody got a right to work. I remember going to the pro day and then looking at the kids showing up at University of Miami at pro day, and I thought to myself, these ain't Hurricanes. These not Hurricanes. And honestly, I still say that. The first crop that I saw the Arroyo, the tight end. I saw Arroyo at Bomberitos. I was like, that's a hurricane. That looked like what it's supposed to look like. Like no doubt about it. So it's probably starting to look like that. But it's probably starting to look like that because you paying for it. You out here paying for it. Which that's how college is now. That's how college is. At least it's on top of the table. Back in the day, Luke used to pay for it, and it wasn't on top of the table. I know, Luke.
Here we go. Here we go.
Call you out. Hey, Omar, check this out.
A statute of limitations gone now, Luke. It's all right.
They're telling stories about it. They're writing shit about it. They're making reels about it.
I am athlete players. Like people don't. I know about them book bags full of money.
Oh no! Here we go.
I know about showing up at Brands Mall where everything bought in your name. Like,
oh shit! Look, you getting deep. Hold up now. You want to put me break?
I know how college work. I do know how college work. And that's why I knew it was a lot of money in it. It's a lot of money in it.
Yeah.
Now we see exactly how much money's in it.
I started Footballville with Duke Johnson, right? I started it with him. It actually started with him. He came to Miami Dolphins at the end of his career, and it looked like he still had it. What happened there?
He still had it. They just get to a certain point. You know what it is? And this is my opinion. I'm gonna get in trouble for it. They got all these sports science things now where they put the trackers on these players. And if you ain't running a 19, a 20 in practice miles per hour, oh, you done. You lost it. You ain't, they don't realize people be out there pacing themselves. Especially when you're a veteran player to get to Sunday, and that's where Mike McDaniel is a little bit ahead of the game because like his 30-year-olds, they don't practice the first day of the week. And that's why people like Elliot can say, oh, they don't practice and whatnot. I'm like, that's sports science. See, sports science and analytics is taking over. It's taking over all of football. Right or wrong, it's just that's the way they're going. They got all these trackers and GPS. They track these dudes' sleep. All that stuff, and it's none of it, in my opinion, is healthy, and none of it certainly ain't resulting to you being a healthier team. Because look what happened to your team the last couple of years.
Yeah,
so
I've always thought sports science for teams in South Florida is bad, and I say that to say this because the sun and this heat is our advantage. If we're tracking a player the same way you track a player in Colorado or track a player in Kansas City or some cold place and saying, oh, he's overheating right now, we're going to take him off the field. If we're tracking these players based on their size and their ability and we're structuring the practice around that, you lose your edge. I really think you lose your edge from being a South Florida team to being, okay, now your players tapping out when they tap out, when the Raiders come to town. I mean, I think I hope they will give them a little more push, but I think that sports science is not good.
I also remember I've been on 2 teams where players have been hospitalized. One died in Florida State. So, I mean, I'm sensitive to heat, humidity, and I don't want you to be pushing players past the points of, but I agree with you a little bit. I mean, the way I watched the Jimmy Johnson practice, and that was a 2-a-day. They don't practice like that no more. I mean, Dan Campbell was Dan Campbell's first day was probably the last physical practice I'd ever seen.
Wow.
In the NFL.
Wow.
I'm just trying to, Luke, maybe a scrimmage. They'll do inside run to the ground. Maybe.
Wow.
And I'm not saying that, when you asking these players to play 20 games, and that's what you're doing, you asking them to play 20 games a season. Your body is not meant to do that. So, but if more money's in it, more money's in it. But then you got to do other things to the roster got to be bigger. Why can you not come back from IR after 4 weeks? Why you got to wait 8 weeks? What's the big deal? I don't want to rush them back, but why is there a limit to how many people you can put on IR? and bring back.
Hey, we got a question from the chat. You know,
$5. He donated $5 from Lawrence. Go ahead, Luke. You got it.
What did Lawrence donate the $5 to?
He $5, man. Omar, don't say Omar. How you calling it? Water should do it. I guess he's saying who you got going first. Water should do it, and he say, what do you think Travis Hunter would do in the NFL?
I've seen Shador, and that's what he's talking about, because I saw Shador when he came down here when he was playing for Jackson, and I know it was Jackson, it was a couple years ago, but that's not an NFL arm. I take that back. That's a Tua-esque NFL arm.
What? Did you not see this man throw the ball 70 yards and hit the man on a dime, hit him in the face mask in a Colorado game for the money, and the guy dropped the ball and he came back?
I need to see what game was that? What game was that?
That was which game was that? That was in Colorado. What the
maybe he got better. Maybe.
This man was trained by Tom Brady all his life.
That's cool. That's great. That's
he said his arm, Luke. He says intellect.
I just say the arm.
This man he hit them. He consistently does that at the end of the game.
It's a 45, Luke. It's a 45. It's a 45.
So you like Ward? Hold on. You like Ward? What you do?
You saw man Tua couldn't hit a.
Ward got that dog in him. Ward got that dog. You come on now.
I'm surprised you ain't say his name when you were talking about dogs.
My heart goes out to him. Like, if you carrying a whole team for a whole goddamn year and ain't got no defense, like it's only so much you could do. Like we kept waiting for him to rescue us every goddamn game. He ran out of steam. Like at the end of okay, and then so that happened. But y'all see, come on, how many times y'all seen that dog in Ward?
But let me hold on. Let me ask you this: How you big time NFL reporter? How many times are they throwing bombs? I mean, let's keep it a buck.
It's not about the bomb.
Tom Brady didn't get back there and throw bombs all day.
It's not about the bomb. It's not about the bomb. To me, it's okay. Do you have a top shelf arm? Can you throw a 15-yard out? Can it go on a zip? Now, Tua could throw it. Do you want him to throw it? Not really, because them cornerbacks will sit on that thing, especially if they know it's coming. And then you looking at 6 that way. Now, Tannehill, he could throw a 15. His first rookie year, all he did was 15-yard outs. 15, because he wasn't going to throw it in the middle of the field. All he did was 15-yard outs. Heartline. I forget who else was out there with him. They throw 15, come back to it. That's all he did. Shador doesn't have that arm. Now, does Shador have the accuracy of Tua? Yes. Does he have kind of pocket presence of Tua? He reminds me a lot of Tua. Is he a first-round talent? Absolutely. He's not going to be the first pick in the draft. I think Ward is going to be the first pick in the draft, because Ward, you can't coach that. You can't coach that into a player. That dog get a quarterback?
Right.
You cannot, like, he reminds me a lot of Jalen Hurts. And say whatever you want about Jalen Hurts, he put his team in position to win and just won it. Ward, he probably gonna be in Tennessee. You give him, it's probably gonna take a minute, because they just fired my homeboy.
When Ward played at Washington and he had no O-line, he did a lot of fumbling. Yeah. He lost 7 out of the last 8 games.
Because he was probably trying to do too much.
Yes, he was trying to do too much. Shador had no O-line, won 4 games, came back, had a little better O-line, but he didn't have he wasn't playing 7-on-7 like Cam was. Cam got an O-line with Jolly Green Giants. He's standing back there with a cape on, looking like Bob Greasy of old, nobody touching him. And he had to worry about him. He wasn't under duress.
Okay.
Shador got hit every time he threw the ball, got back up, and lined that shit back up and do it again.
Cam got hit too.
That's a dog. Cam ain't got hit. What is
Cam got hit?
Cam get hit.
Cam
Cam
got hit one time, and it was his fault.
So now, when you get in this league and them motherfuckers is running and they coming, now we're gonna find out who is really who. Shador has more dog in him than Cam. I'm gonna say that right here.
You picking Shador over Cam?
I know I'm saying Shador has more dog in him than Cam. No, I'm gonna say that.
I can't agree with you on that one, Luke. Just because you can take an ass whipping.
I love that they training together. I love that they video the training. That shit talking they do. Ooh, to each other. I love it. I don't know what they're gonna do with that footage and what they're gonna do with that documentary, but like I'm all about it. And the fact, like, ain't no back down with either of them, and I respect that. And they've been doing that since last year when Shador came down here and trained.
And they pushed each other. They literally was pushing each other throughout the year, going back, looking at who got the most yards, who got the most wins, and all that. It didn't stop there, and I think they're gonna do the same thing in the league. But you're right when it comes to knowing dogs. I was just thinking when y'all were talking about that, and I was on this great dynasty team that created the dynasty of Miami Central. And you had CJ, you had John Miller, you had Devontae Freeman, you had Dalvin Cook in the building. He had to go back and play Pop Warner another year. You had Tommy Schuler, you had Raheem Cato. I mean, all dogs.
Yep.
Straight dog. If you haven't, and I'm Streter, I'm still looking for that in my locker room. I'm still looking for that.
They sent Cook back to Scott Park. Damn.
Cook was
on ready yet.
Cook was on the scout team. That's how good that.
I saw Kid.
Cook had to go back to Scott Park.
Listen, I saw a kid at Bomarito. He ran a ridiculous 40 time, and then I learned he was a running back that played at Toledo. I can't remember his name now. But he played at Northwestern. He was like, "Yeah, I had to share the backfield with about 3 guys, and that's how I ended up at Toledo." I'm like, "Bro, you way too fast to be out here sharing the backfield." But then I realized Northwestern, they got it like that. Back in the day, we used to have it like that at Carroll City before people could go wherever they want and nobody go to Carroll City no more.
You're right, Omar. You talking
about Jacquez Stewart, man? Hold up, Luke.
What about Jacquez Stewart?
Yeah, he talking about Jacquez Stewart.
No, hold on.
They talking about Jacquez Stewart from Northwestern at Toledo, fast ass Jacquez.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you his name now. Give me a second. Let me find it. Yep, Jacquez Stewart. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm almost sure that's what you're talking about. Daddy was a police at North Miami Police Department because I covered him, man. I wasn't gonna let you ease over that. We played for Liberty City, Luke.
Listen,
all the dogs. He fast as hell. I don't know if he's a good football player because I haven't watched his film, and he a little tiny for me. He's not my personal taste, but he fast as hell.
Listen, all the great ones play for Liberty City. Tutu Atwell. You see my boy over there, first pick for number 1 draft pick for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Kalijah Cansey getting off. All them Liberty City guys. Omar. All them Liberty City guys. Omar.
That hunger. They gotta have that hunger.
It's that hunger. You probably the only person that I know that's been critical of Jimmy Johnson. You
come on, Lou,
about Jimmy Johnson not drafting Randy Moss. I mean, are you gonna let it go?
No, I'm never gonna let it go. Name me Jimmy's best offensive draft pick. I can do this right now. Listen, I don't like to talk about Jimmy Johnson, and I apologize to him. And he has called me out on a number of occasions, and I ain't trying to get called out by Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson drafted legendary defensive players, had a phenomenal defense. Name me his best offensive draft pick. Luke, I can tell it to you right now. It's Rob Conrad, a fullback.
What?
This man dragged Jimmy Johnson because he did not draft Randy Moss.
I should draft everybody because they did. How could you stare at Randy Moss and stand there at you? I covered Randy Moss his freshman year at Florida State when they did not allow. I wasn't covering the team, but I had friends that were on the team. That dude scored a touchdown every time he touched the ball. He was the number one player on that team. Obviously got kicked out of school because he was on a one strike and you're out, and he got that strike. Then he had to go to Marshall. But that was a Jimmy John. If you thought Peter Ward was good, and Peter Ward was on that same team, if you thought Peter Ward was good, whoo, Randy Moss was phenomenal. And for you to not, why you ain't drafted? What all these teams let him fall?
It seems like you putting this man on like the Brad Daugherty, Michael Jordan. Why you didn't draft Michael Jordan? You drafted Brad Daugherty.
That I can't let go.
Jimmy Johnson.
That I can't. I can't let that one go. But I can let the other draft misses go. But when your quarterback, you ran Don Shula out of time. You stole. Okay, you gonna get me in trouble, Luke. You stole Don Shula's job.
Stole? Oh my God!
Oh, Lord.
You stole Don Shula. Who he got the job from, Luke? Who he got the job from? Thank you. You stole Don Shula's job. You ran Dan Marino out of town because he was not done playing. I got that from Dan's own mouth.
Oh my God!
He was not done, and Dan actually considered going to play for Pittsburgh when the Dolphins, when his run with Miami ended. And so you almost threw Dan Marino in the arms of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then your draft history, Jimmy, Yatil Green. I ain't even. I'm only bringing up.
You're talking about as the Dolphins.
Yeah.
What is his draft history at the Cowboys?
I don't care about what he did with Dallas.
The Cowboys was immaculate, bro. The Cowboys.
I don't care about that.
When you drafted the Cowboys, they've been right since the man left there.
When you right? No, Dave Wanstead had better success. Had like the last time they had Dolphins had success was Dave Wanstead. But come on. Let's be honest. Yatil Green, I understand that was an injury. Brian Manning, Ed Perry, who was a better barber than he was a football player. Sorry, Ed.
Oh God.
Sorry, Ed. All right, let's be real. Long slapper. John Avery. This is the bum you traded the draft pick that would have drafted Randy Moss for.
Randy Moss, yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't care if we agreed to the trade the day before. Randy Moss sitting there. I ain't trading nothing to you. I don't got to trade until I'm on the clock. Randy Moss sitting there. You should have took Randy Moss. Then you draft John Avery. Okay. Lorenzo Broman. No, I'm sorry. Larry Shannon, who you came out and told the people that he was going to be better than Randy Moss. Nobody even know who Larry Shannon is. John Dutton at quarterback. Guard, Scott Shaw, Jim Burden. Like, come on, man. J.J. Johnson. Come on. Greg Rugamer at center. Cecil Collins.
Cecil Collins was a good draft pick. He just went to prison.
Yeah, okay. Remember when he had Lawrence Phillips too? I respect the effort on Lawrence Phillips. You ain't have one good offensive draft pick. Not one.
Now you see what Omar just did.
I see what he did.
Threw the bad draft picks on Jimmy. But when it comes to Mike McDaniels, he throws the bad draft picks on Greer.
Hold on. Who was the GM when Jimmy Johnson was? You gonna put it on Spielman? No, Spielman was the GM when Wanstead was there. Wait a minute. He was he made the groceries and he cooked the dinners. How else I'm gonna put it on? Who you want? I'll give you. Now you done made me mad, Luke. I give you. Mike McDaniel is responsible for some draft. Like I know when a coach like strong arms a draft pick, okay, and that's my problem with Greer. He don't have the conviction to tell him go sit down. This is my job. Go sit down somewhere. This is my job, and that's what he need to do. If you're actually good at drafting and doing your job, you tell the head coach go sit your behind down. This is my job right here. Like, I don't tell you how to coach. I don't come down there in the booth and come to the booth and be like, yo, you need to be throwing the ball more. But every coach come up in the situation, from Brian Flores to to what's his name? Damn, what the hell? Who came before Brian Flores? He let every coach come here and pick their groceries. Okay, and then when I want you fired, and you say, "Well, that was his guy." No, bro, these your picks. These your picks. These your free agents. I'm not gonna let you off the hook for nothing. Not a single thing. Because when it comes down to it, who is accountable for how they spend the money, the players that they acquire, and what those players become? That's you, Chris Greer. Like,
so you do give Jimmy credit for Zach Thomas and
Jimmy killed it on defense. He could identify a defensive player and develop them, no problem. Name me the offensive player he drafted. He developed and drafted. Like, okay, Oronde Gaston. That wasn't even a draft pick.
This man.
And I love Jimmy Johnson. Like, listen, he's a legend. But like, let's take some accountability for the fact that you failed to build an offensive team. Did you or did you not?
Omar, they finna tear your ass up on Twitter, boy.
Listen,
start a riot, Luke. You better start a riot.
Name me the best offensive player that Jimmy Johnson drafted. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
Bro, that list is horrible. How can it be so bad, though? How can he be so good at finding talent in Miami? Dallas, he found all of the, and then get here and it be, how could it be so bad, bro?
No, it was, it's a no-brainer at Dallas. He just got all his players from University of Miami. I mean, shit,
I would condone that and support that if he did it here
too. This man just made to the Hall of Fame. The man sitting out there on the yacht. He's one of the most highly decorated University of Miami head coaches. Before we hire a coach, they send him down there to talk to Jimmy. Yeah. And if Jimmy don't like him, then we don't hire him. I mean,
really? That's how it worked?
Of course.
So he had a whole lot of bus. He had a whole lot of bus.
Saying Jimmy got us Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas. That's true?
What'd you say?
The comment section saying Jimmy got us Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas.
Yeah. Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas, Sam Madison, Derek Rogers. He killed the defense. Pat Surtain, he killed it defensively. I didn't say that.
He said offensively. So Jimmy only got one. He only got one.
He got one good offensive pick, a fullback. One.
That's unbelievable.
Uno.
This man here, boy. This.
Uno. And I ain't even let Wastad off the hook because he could have drafted Anquan Bolden. He took what that boy name? Jamal Fletcher.
The man.
And we had cornerbacks at that time.
You were around when you covered the Hurricanes when the transition of Randy Shannon and Larry Coker.
Mm-hmm.
And you I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you said Randy stole Larry's job.
Mm-hmm.
You got to elaborate on that. I heard you say that one time.
Listen.
You say Randy Shannon stole Coker's job, he railroaded him, he tricked him, and he got his job.
Something like that.
Okay, I gotta hear this story.
No, listen. I hate that Hurricane fans don't put respect on Larry's name.
Mm-hmm.
One, history will never show you a better coaching record than Larry Coker. And I also hate the fact that they don't give him credit for the people that he recruited and added to that team. Because Greg Olson, Kellen Winslow, Eric Winston, I think Antro Roll and Sean Taylor were his first recruiting class. Frank Gore, John Beeson. No, I don't know if John Beeson was his. Yeah, I think John Beeson might have been his. No, John Beeson's definitely his. Vilma might or might not. I can't remember. Is DJ Williams his? I can't remember. DJ Williams might be his. No, I don't think so. I think that might be what's his name? Butch Davis. They do not give him credit. Merriweather. They don't give him credit. Roscoe Parrish, for the players that he recruited, signed, developed, that went to the NFL. Now, when Larry got fired for going to back-to-back Peach Bowls. Don't let's exclude the Boise Bowl. Patter got killed. Them players I covered that team. Them players was in a haze. They didn't know if they was gonna get killed next. Like, I'm sorry, you can't play. They lost like 2 games after Patter got killed. You can't play with that stuff in your head. You can't play with that with what's going on. Dennis, I had and I don't believe this, that a teammate killed Pat. I think he got arrested, safety, that a teammate killed Pat, which is ridiculous. I don't buy it. I don't believe it. Fighting over a girl. Come on, man. You know the university, man. These guys, they be batting off women like whatever. Yeah. To fight to kill somebody over a girl. Come on, man. None of that makes sense. So Larry was forced to fire his staff. Solinger, Art Kehoe, somebody else. The year that they went to the first Peach Bowl, and I believe they beat Florida. He was forced to fire his staff. Then he had to hire Stoutlands and all those. I know my history now. He had to hire good coach. He did hire good coaches, but it wasn't enough time to make that transition. And then he went to another Peach Bowl. They got their butts kicked by LSU by Nick Saban, and then they got beat up in the tunnel. Okay, and then the next year, that was I forget the quarterback's name, and he wasn't that good. Kelly something. And they just didn't, and it was an all-American quarterback. He just wasn't that good. A player got killed during the season. They lost a lot of games, but ended up going to the Peach Bowl. I mean, to the Boise Bowl. I believe they won that game. That was one of my best bowl trips ever in my life. And I remember Larry Coker. He had been fired and he was finishing out, and Randy had been named the head coach, and Larry was salty as hell. And
really,
Larry was salty as hell. And I remember him saying something to me. I remember exactly where I was. He was just like, I want to see the next coach do and replicate what I've done. And people don't give him the credit. Yeah, Larry he wasn't no alpha. You know, he wasn't how you would draw up a head coach personally to be, but you draw him up to be Al Golden, and look how that turned out.
Yeah. I mean, so Larry Coker was the last winning coach at the University of Miami.
I think the one that came from Georgia, Mark Richt, I think was a winning coach too.
Yeah, he won only 10 games, but on a consistent basis. Somebody from the chat got a question right here. It says, is it true that Saban left the Dolphins? He inquired about the Hurricanes job, but the administration refused to fire Coker at the time. Were you aware of that?
No, I don't even think those timelines. Yeah, that timeline might match up. Saban didn't like Miami. His wife didn't like Miami.
Right.
So they was gone. They was out here. So I don't think that makes any sense. Saban's wife did not like Miami at all.
I just talked to Jimmy Sexton actually, and that, I don't think that's true, because Jimmy Sexton kind of basically was like, "Get out of here." and told him
that's how he don't know though. So Jimmy. That I've heard that and I heard that he quit because of his wife. He quit at Alabama because of his wife. Not because he's still working. He's still working. He working.
He still ain't home. The sugar daddy still, the lawn man still gets to come over there when he's not there.
No,
the pool man. Whoever. Hey, Omar, man, I want to thank you for coming on, man. We had fun, man. We got to do this again.
Anytime. Always a pleasure.
We got to do this again, man. Hey, y'all guys out there, y'all follow Omar.
I'm still waiting for my Tussie trip, Luke.
Hey, we got. I got you. We're gonna take Steve with us.
Send me the bat signal. I just see you was on daddy duty yesterday, and I could have came to the fair. I live in Miami Lakes. I could have came to the fair. I just didn't,
I know.
I know.
My daddy duty cuts off today. Son goes back to to the mom house, and
Yeah.
so I get a little loose right now.
Yeah,
So
I live that life too. I live that
yeah,
life too.
and I might invite you to one of those NFL player parties.
Oh, I don't know if I want to see if I go to that.
That's
then
too much.
they're gonna
Hold
be feeling
on.
uncomfortable, and I don't want to be making people. And that's what when I see them at Tootsie's, I'll be like, we gotta have a talk. It's like anything I see here, it stay between us. We don't. You don't see me, I don't see you.
It's
like
on the job and off the job.
Yeah, you don't see me, I don't see you. We good. Like,
Simple as that. Simple as that. Hey man, we want to appreciate you for coming on, man. Miami Herald sports reporter, beat writer Omar Kelly. Make sure y'all follow him on Twitter. Is there any other new podcasts? Is there anything you want to?
No, I do Dolphins in Depth, which is the Miami Herald podcast. Eventually, I'm gonna start a life podcast, Luke. So talk about divorce and all that good stuff, and raising your child. You got a boy, I got a girl, so it's I'm do a dad podcast. We can do a dad podcast.
Yeah, please bring me on for that. I can enlighten some people on how the best way to do that. Yeah, divorce is tough for most people, but I think mine was a little smooth.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, mine was smooth. My divorce was smooth. I have a unique way of I have to date and be with women who are very ambitious. Miami is a lot of beautiful things walking around. Beautiful things walking around with no education, no will to do shit. There's a lot of that.
I still like my bartenders a little bit, and I can't do bottle girls no more. I can't.
Hey man, hey, thanks, Omar Kelly, ladies and gentlemen. He gonna be in a lot of trouble. We don't want him in no more trouble.
Peace, I know, right, man? Get the man out of here, man.
All right, guys.
Man here, the bottle girls. Hey, Streter, that boy.
Man, you bring out the loose in everybody, man.
Another epic interview, Streter.
It was, bro.
This shit is gonna be on fire.
Nah, that was good. Omar was on 10 too.
On 10,
they finna get on his ass about old Jimmy Johnson. They on his ass right now. He finna go have to block some people. They finna get on his bad about old Jimmy.
10 ain't the word, boy. Hey, we get into these interviews and we schedule them for like 30 minutes, and the damn interviews end up going like an hour and shit. I mean, is it that good? People in the chat, y'all, I see y'all involved. Y'all like it. Y'all loving it, but
when you're having fun, time flies. Isn't that what they say?
Time does fly when you're having fun, I guess. Hey, man. And then we have so much other shit to talk about. Then we had to jump across that because we can't be holding y'all up for y'all entire day. Hey, man, speaking of things to jump from, I mean, Drake came back over the weekend. Album number 1. Kanye West got kicked off of Twitter. Jay-Z lawsuit got dropped. The one where him and Daddy allegedly
bogus, man.
Did the 13-year-old. We know that was some bullshit.
Right.
And then
Kanye
Jay-Z
going through a divorce. Is Kanye really going through a divorce?
The robot? How you gonna divorce a robot? That girl's a goddamn
grown.
How you gonna get a divorce of a woman you just told to dress up naked at the Grammys? How is she gonna go find a lawyer? She's a robot. The girl is a robot. Shouts out to Chris Young talking about free Kanye. I mean, you got my man ASAP Rocky going to court
trial.
On trial. I mean, your buddy Elon Musk, Trump. The gas prices are still up and the food prices are still up. You lied about that, but you didn't lie about everything.
Hold on. Before we get out of here, Trump just fired a whole bunch of IRS workers during the middle of time.
Nuclear people, motherfuckers with the new codes. These dumb motherfuckers fired. You dumb motherfuckers who voted Trump in. This motherfucker fired the people who build the nukes. Just imagine, I'm a guy who built the nukes and I'm out of a job. Who the first person gonna hire me? Russia? The Taliban? Somebody, some other country is. You dumb idiot. You people brought this.
I think people in the comment section care about their taxes more than they.
And that ain't
No, he just found a whole bunch of what is he trying to do, Luke? Before we get out of here, bro. Like, what is this? Doesn't look like somebody that's trying to fix something, right? Like,
it's a money grab. Elon Musk, think about it. Think about it. You fire the people who are doing the oversights over all of your contracts. This man has $300 million contract here, $85 million contract here, another $200 million contract here with the United States government. And you have oversight people that are looking at combing through your shit to see whether these contracts are right. And Elon Musk, give me the job. The first thing you do is fire all those fucking people so there's no oversight of your contract. So you getting 300 and 400 million here and 300 and another 400 million there a pop going into your corporation. Meanwhile, you're firing the people fired like 2,000 employees. Oh, it's government. We told you. Well, they did tell you they was gonna fire them because they did a X-Space. And Trump hired the motherfucker on the spot. He said, I'll fire those motherfuckers. I did the same thing at Tesla.
No, but I think it's creating a lot of fear too, bro. And they love to use the word bullying in this 2025, right? I think our president is creating a lot of fear, right? Of people who will go against him. And it looks like our president is running bullying the nation.
And he said he will not be weaponizing the United States government against the people of the government. Hey, look here, man. Hey, Trump, I'm not fucking with you. Hey, my brother, you invited me to the party. I never told what happened at the party, Trump, so don't fuck with me. Hey, look, I'm okay with you. Sorry about the microphone. Hey, look, y'all keep messing with Trump. I'm telling you, hey, look here, man.
No, he's creating fear, bro.
Listen, I ain't scared of fucking Trump. Can't be scared of Trump. He is creating fear. I mean, Social Security, he laid off all those people. Department of Education, gone. He hired a motherfucking lady that got in there and said her job is to gut the Department of Education to close it down. It's like you just hired a motherfucker, a bankruptcy comptroller to close a corporation down called Department of Education. So all these federal dollars that go to these public schools, when your public schools start looking like third world countries and shit, don't blame yourself. And then the poor Latinos for Trump and all those people in Gaza. I mean, that's a whole nother movie there. But here's one thing. L.A. Reid has been going on. L.A. Reid said, switching over to entertainment, L.A. Reid said this right here.
I think you and I talked about it. How many important boutique labels do we have that are black? Because that's where the community is built from, right?
Absolutely.
You started at Blackground, right? Yep. Right.
Boutique.
Yeah. A boutique, right? Yeah. And an artist I had started at LaFace, and there was Uptown artists, and there was Death Row artists, there was Motown artists, and there was Stax artists, and there were like and that was where black music was nurtured, curated, and it wasn't, no disrespect to anybody, but it wasn't so much us asking for permission because people that looked like us were making those decisions. And look how different the industry looked then. So the moment we just talked about when we said Guy and Al B. Shore and Keith Sweat, and Babyface, and Heavy D and the Boys, and I could keep going on and on, and Boys to Men, right? Guys, those are black people making decisions about the music we heard on a national, international level. Yeah. That is all but dead. So if you look at the Grammy stage, what you see missing is people that look like us. That's what's missing.
Wow.
And it's changed music. Because all the music decisions are now being made by mostly white men. So look at the stage. The artist.
Streter, I said that. Isn't that what Kanye West said?
This is what Kanye West
when he criticized Leo Cohen. Yeah. You think L.A. Reid is gonna get the same smoke that Kanye West got?
No, Kanye West says it differently. No, he ain't
L.A.
gonna get the
Reid
same.
said the decisions that are made for black people are, and he was talking about Leo Cohen, because Leo Cohen controls YouTube.
Yeah.
I see you got
Talk
some
to
on
us,
the
dog.
screen here.
Yeah, no, we're gonna get into this next, but talk to us though. Yeah, I mean, no, you're right. He's not gonna get the same flack Kanye got, but they all saying the same thing.
It's amazing. All right, you got something on the screen you want to talk about?
Sports Illustrated just picked. That's what Sports Illustrated just picked up. Warren Sapp says Miami wanted 20 hours per day for some roles.
Hey. We made
Sports Illustrated just reported that Warren Sapp says Miami wanted 20 hours a day per day for the same role he has with Deion Sanders. This is where you think they got that from, Lou?
So we made Sports Center.
Where
Did they take the clip? I mean, goddamn. Did they take the clip from here?
Let's see. Did they use the clip? Let's see. Let's see if they use the clip.
Let's see if they
there it is. They got a pretty face right there. There it is.
They got you. Do they have your face on there, Streter?
They got us. They got me and you. That's the YouTube clip.
Oh shit. So we've been doing this shit for a short period of time, and now we've made Sports Center
mainstream news. I mean, because bro, listen, man, we've been doing this for a long time. We know what we're doing. We know what we're doing. We had, like you said, we had connections. I mean, we got people we could touch, and we just getting started. Oh boy, some of the names that we are going to touch is out the water.
And they can only imagine. Y'all can only wait. Hey, listen, this shit just gets started. You're right. Because we have a long reach. Streter has a long reach. I have a long reach. And we're going to bring people on here like we had Omar Kelly here. That's going to keep it a buck. We ain't bringing no cookie cutter shit interviews on here.
Right.
That's not happening. But if you didn't hear the clip, ladies and gentlemen, here's the clip right here.
And hide the Bible if God watching. Sometimes you gotta pop.
Oh no. We got flagged for that shit. But no, man. Hey, we can see we got flagged for that.
But boy, Coach Hayes did the thing.
They got look at your picture on there. They got you looking good.
Well, I look sexy, boy. Got the same.
They got you. They got that. Hey, man. Hey, they got the nasty work on there. I mean, we're doing big things, Streter. We're all over the place, man. Shouts out to the
This just got started, bro. This just get started, man. I mean, we're gonna get stuff out of people. People probably ain't never seen Omar Kelly on 10 like that.
No, and that's the beautiful thing about it. We got thousands of people looking. This is a holiday, President's Day, ladies and gentlemen. Hey man, we had fun. Make sure y'all check us out. We're here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We make the news. It's nasty work. Streter is work. He does the work, and I'm the nasty one. But obviously, all the guests that we brought on so far are the nasty. They bringing the fucking.
They be ready to go. Don't they? They be ready to go.
They know when you come on here, it's like, yo, I got to bring this smoke and mo. But that's what we are, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to give it to y'all blood raw every week. We're going to keep it a buck. We're going to bring in guests that's going to keep it a buck. You know, one thing about us, we relax people, and it ends up becoming a nice little beautiful conversation because Streter know what the fuck he's talking about. I know what I'm talking about. And you can always remember to follow us on all of our social media platforms. Streter, he's all over the place. Footballville at his best. Then you got me on Uncle Luke Real One, Twitter, Instagram, same name, TikTok, and Uncle Luke TV on YouTube. Hey man, I had fun today. What about yourself? You got any parting words?
Oh man, I had a great time, man. Omar was hometown kid, man. And dog, what he's talking about noticing dogs, I've been talking about that for a week, 2 weeks now. About dog, you got to know what it look like. And when we are privy to be in a place where we've seen so many of them, you know what I'm saying, that we kind of know what it looks like.
Yeah,
let's get up out of here, bro. I got some leftovers or something to go eat, man.
That's it. All right. Hey, man, until Wednesday, I'll holler at you guys.
Make the booty go, 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 pop, pop, make the booty go, pop, pop.
I need some bad girls. I'm gonna let y'all hear my new song. I need some bad girls. Come on, baby. Come on, right here. You and you. Come on with that, your fine ass.